Early spring morning, a moist breeze swept through Town, carrying a lingering chill. The largest residence in Town, the Bai Manor, bestowed by the former emperor. The once quiet street was now packed with people, shoulder to shoulder, bustling with excitement. Just by following the crowd, it was clear. Everyone was heading to the same place. Today was the wedding day of Bai Jiran, the daughter of Bai Manor. Master Bai Zhongquan of the Bai Manor was not only an imperial merchant, but also a renowned philanthropist. He had long aided the poor and weak, with countless lives benefiting from his kindness. In Town and the neighboring counties, vagrants were scarcely seen and people lived in comfort thanks to him. Master Bai held great prestige, so on his daughter's wedding day the scene was grand, with gift-bearers and well-wishers nearly trampling down the threshold. Not to mention the common folk who came for a cup of wedding wine. Shen Yuxing arrived at the banquet with his two children, Shen Moen and Shen Qinglin. The Shen and Bai families had been close for generations and often traded in business. Such a grand wedding at the Bai family was something they naturally could not miss. To show his respect, he brought his children along and came to offer congratulations in person. However, the Bai family's wedding feast was so grand that the entire street was packed with people, leaving no way for carriages to pass. With no other choice, Shen Yuxing had to get down with his children and continue on foot. Along the way, he held his daughter's hand tightly, afraid Qinglin might get lost in the crowd, and kept asking her in a low voice,
"Lanner, are you all right? Do you feel uncomfortable?"
Shen Qinglin only nodded obediently, never saying much. Her quietness was something her father was long used to, simply thinking his daughter shy and gentle by nature. Yet the truth was unknown to all. Shen Qinglin was no ordinary girl.
She carried memories of a past life, and her fate had been troubled since childhood. At birth, she was stolen and sold from one household to another, kidnapped more than once. Until at 7 years old, she was rescued on the streets of Hangzhou by Shen Yuxing himself. Only then did she gain the name Shen Qinglin, raised as a cherished daughter ever since. Over the years, she worked hard to master etiquette. Never bringing shame to her family, to outsiders, she was the perfect young lady, cultured and polite yet her heart had never truly opened to anyone.
Now at 14, she had secretly made a vow one day. She would seek her birth parents and uncover the truth of her origin. She remembered faint clues. Her mother seemed to be called the Zhilon, and she had once heard the word consort. She had to find out the truth. Yet, at the thought of this, guilt rose in her heart. Her father treated her as his own. Her brother protected her like a treasure, while she still longed for the blood ties. On the other side, amid the surging crowd, she was unknowingly separated from her father and brother, pushed to the mouth of an alley. When she came to her senses, strangers surrounded her. Her father and Shen Moan were nowhere to be seen. Shen Qingyao froze, raising her hand to look at the palm she had just been holding, utterly speechless.
Held hands and still got lost? Now that's some outrageous luck.
Shen Qinglin let out a soft sigh. In this unfamiliar place, should she squeeze forward with the crowd or find another way? Shen Qinglin took a few steps with the crowd, got shoved a few more, then, fed up, simply turned and slipped into a quiet alley. Yet just as she stepped into the alley, two figures, one fat, one thin, slipped in behind her. After only a few steps, Shen Qingyao sensed someone tailing her. The corner of her lips curved faintly as she sneered inwardly.
So this is Bai Manor's peace? Father always praised its rule prosperous people, no one daring to stir trouble. And yet, after just a few steps, someone's already targeting me.
The alley ended in a dead end. Shen Qinglin halted, pondering how to turn back. as the fat and thin figures closed in on her. They no longer hid themselves, wearing what they thought were suave smiles, posturing with false seriousness as if they were true gentlemen.
Little girl, did you take the wrong turn? Want your big brothers to lead you out?
Their tone was faintly gentle, but their eyes gleamed with slyness and flirtation, a look that simply begged for a beating. Qinglin's eyes were full of vigilance as she glared coldly at them in silence, her mind already racing with ways to deal with them. Though their clothes were neat, their faces were greasy, and the stench of sweat mixed with sour rot clung to them, utterly nauseating. Seeing her stay silent, the two exchanged a glance and stepped closer.
What's wrong, little girl? Why so quiet? If you don't speak, how can your big brothers take you along?
The closer they came, the stronger the stench, and Qinglin felt her dinner from the night before was about to come up. Fighting the urge to gag, she quietly slipped her left hand into her satchel to feel for a hidden weapon and said coldly,
I appreciate your kindness, but I can find my way back. No need to trouble you.
But the two refused to back off, even softening their tone, with the skinny one putting on a false act.
Oh, come on now. Isn't it much easier with us? No need to be scared, little girl.
Yeah, you look like you're not from around here. With us around, wouldn't it be easier?
Qinglin raised a brow, her eyes full of disdain. In the next instant, the obedient girl facade vanished, her lips curled into a roguish grin, and with a flick of her hand, a feathered folding fan had already appeared. Qinglin flicked open her fan, half concealing her face. Her cool gaze swept over the two from above the fan, as she spoke with a lazy, mocking drawl.
Face shows the heart your screen fills. Shifty eyes, reeking like a pigsty. Yet dare call yourselves charming? Ha! That courage must have been scraped out of lard.
She lifted her chin, fan tapping lazily street rogue in tone, yet with the ease of an immortal mocking ants. With a sharp snap, Qinglin slammed her fan shut, the crisp sound like a slap to their faces. She narrowed her eyes, a roguish, cold smile curling at her lips.
And quit the big brother act. With those greasy faces, you're more like smelly uncles fresh from selling leeks at the market.
Suddenly, Qinglin swung her fan with a bang against the wall, plaster raining down as the two men shuddered in fright.
Money? Sorry, I couldn't even be bothered to bring a single coin today. Lust? Sure.
She curved her lips into a smile, her crisp voice dropping, low, cold, and sharp as a blade.
I promise, boys, tonight I'll send you straight to heaven, the sideways kind. Don't believe me? I can give you a free trial right now.
With that, she lightly flicked her fan to cover half her face, leaving only a pair of bright, icy eyes revealed. The two exchanged a glance, unease already creeping in. That sharp crack of her fan against the wall had made their hearts jolt and their legs nearly give way. Yet the thought of backing off now felt like utter disgrace. And with the girl's pretty face and taunting voice, their shame only fanned the flames of their lust. The skinny one licked his lips, forcing a laugh. His voice betrayed his guilt, yet he still refused to back down.
Hey, little girl, don't act so fierce. You're still young. What do you know? Follow your uncle, and you'll get plenty of benefits.
The fat one lost patience even faster, letting out a cold snort.
Don't be so ungrateful. This is by manners turf. You don't get to run wild here. Even a mighty dragon can't overpower the local snake, no matter how tough you are. Can you really beat brothers who ruled this ground for over a decade?
Their words were harsher than before, yet their steps faltered. They dared not rush forward, but couldn't bear to back down. They looked like starving dogs, knowing full well there was a stick at the door, yet still itching to try for a stolen bite of meat.
Is that so? If Master Bai knew scum like you lurked on his own turf, I wonder what he'd think.
Before her words even faded, Shen Qinglin snapped her fan. Swish, swish. A flurry of steel needles shot forth, striking straight at the two men.
Hidden weapons.
The two's eyes bulged as they scrambled to the side in panic. The needles sank into the stone wall with a sharp ding ding ding. Sparks flying, sending cold sweat running down their backs. But while they were busy dodging, they never expected Shen Qinglin to already be upon them. She dropped low, shifted her step, snapped her fan shut, and in a flash her palm struck up beneath the fat man's chin. That palm, carried by a fierce gust, slammed into the fat man's chin, wrenching it out of place. His bulky body lifted off the ground and crashed backward, skull thudding against the bluestone with a heavy thud. Stars burst before his eyes as he let out only a muffled ugh. The fat man's face flushed red, eyes rolling back, as he screamed inwardly.
This girl, is she some kind of iron demon? Oh my bulk! And I still can't match one tiny hand of hers.
Shen Qinglin ignored him, the corner of her lips curling, as she spoke coldly.
Next.
The skinny one was stunned, but quicker than the fat man. Seeing Shen Qinglin turn toward him, he clenched his teeth and lunged, fist cutting through the air with a whistle, aiming straight for her cheek. Shen Qinglin flicked her wrist, bringing the folded fan across before her. Fist and fan clashed head-on, the alley echoing with a metallic crash as sparks burst out. The force jolted back through her hand, sending a sting through her palm and a numb ache up her arm, nearly shaking the fan from her grip. The skinny one's fist burned with pain, knuckles feeling as if they'd smashed into stone. His palm twitched uncontrollably, heart lurching as his pupils shrank in shock.
What? That's no ordinary fan. It's made of black iron. A mere girl carrying such a weapon.
A flash of fear sent cold sweat down the skinny one's back, yet he still forced a smirk, pretending to stay tough.
Hey, a black iron fan. Not bad, little girl. But with just that, you think you can beat me?
Oh yeah, then let's see how many moves you can take.
Blows flew as dust filled the alley. The skinny one's attacks were fierce, fists howling through the air, reach strike ruthless, driving Shen Qinglin back step by step. But just as he thought he had her pinned, Shen Qinglin suddenly stopped, a roguish smile curling on her lips as she said coldly,
"Oh, you really take me for some helpless kitten?"
Before the words even faded, Shen Qinglin dropped low, closing in on his chest, and with a swift turn of her hand, locked him in place. Crack! Shen Qinglin twisted his wrist hard, joints snapping. With a sharp crack, cold sweat burst from his skin as a scream nearly tore from his throat. Before he could catch his breath, Shen Qinglin's knee shot up with full force, slamming into his gut. Bang! His chest tightened, a strangled scream burst from his throat as his body bent like a shrimp, eyes rolling white, nearly collapsing to the ground. The skinny one doubled over like a shrimp, blood spurting from his mouth as his eyes went blank. In the instant, his body leaned forward. Shen Qinglin clasped her fists and drove her elbow hard into his chest.
Ah!
The skinny one's throat caught before his scream could escape. His eyes rolled back and he collapsed unconscious.
Useless trash.
Shen Qinglin flicked her hand, exhaling coldly, a trace of indifference flashing in her eyes. In her past life, she was a special ops assassin, codename Luguang. She had crawled through gunfire and blood, laughing at death in countless missions. To her, clowns-like, these were nothing but child's play. The fat one, just struggling to his feet, froze in shock. His legs trembled as he cursed wildly in his heart.
Good lord, is this girl the King of Hell's little sister? How did she drop the boss in just 2 moves?
A wave of fear surged through him, and the fat one almost turned to flee, but catching sight of the skinny man sprawled on the ground, he forced himself to stay, clinging stubbornly. to a twisted sense of brotherly loyalty. Gritting his teeth, he steeled himself, pulling a dagger from his chest, with a feral glare in his eyes.
Girl, you really pissed me off. You're not leaving here today.
YuTing Lin fixed her gaze on the dagger, eyes cold as an icy abyss. With a flick of her sleeve,
Go to hell!
whoosh! A short arrow tore through the air, shooting straight for the fat man's chest.